Hey guys, it's Miharu. It's time once again to talk about NPCs, those quirky little creatures Spyro bumps into on his adventures. Everyone remembers the NPCs from the original trilogy for their silly voices and charming designs, but not many people talk about the ones that came after. Though the quality of games would fluctuate from that point on, the series would still continue the trend of featuring worlds with unique inhabitants. Some of them I wouldn't mind seeing return someday. So let's shine a spotlight on these overshadowed occupants of the Dragon Realms and beyond, and discuss the Spyro NPCs you forgot about. Let's start with adult female dragons. No, not that one. These ones. Since the beginning, many fans, including myself, have wondered, where are all the female dragons? I mean, those eggs must come from somewhere, so they definitely exist. And they do, but we wouldn't get to see them until 2004 with the release of A Hero's Tale and the debut of Mrs. Shoutfire. This elderly nanny runs a nursery in Dragon Village and offers Spyro rewards for recovering her stolen eggs. But it didn't stop there. For just 1 year later in 2005, the Nintendo DS game Shadow Legacy would give us even more of these characters. The Dragon Dojo elder Cho-Lei, the upbeat and fun-loving Brigid, the quiet, reserved Mrs. Funderlick, and Caitlin, who I'm pretty sure is just this game's version of Mrs. Shoutfire. It's honestly kinda disappointing that this had to be our introduction to adult female dragons, and even sadder knowing they could have been in Reignited, but the idea never went anywhere. If you were to ask people what the best game in the classic series is after the originals, most would probably say A Hero's Tale. Sure, it's basically just Spyro's answer to Jak and Daxter, but hey, at least it's playable. And we even got quite an interesting variety of NPCs out of it. Stone Daughters, smartly dressed penguins, mermaids who don't know what dragons are, and then there's these two, the Ice Princess and Tina. One a fox from the Ice Citadel, and the other a hyena from Molten Mount. Opposites, but both cute furry girls and memorable only to those very familiar with the game. So who is the Ice Princess? Well, first off, that isn't even her real title, apparently.
I am the Ice Princess. Because it's freezing in here!
I mean, from her clothing, we can infer she probably is royalty, but this implies she literally names herself based on whatever the weather happens to be like. Anyway, she doesn't do much besides complain about the cold and reward you with a light gem after lighting all the boilers in the Citadel. Then we have Tina, who sounds like if Twilight Sparkle were being relentlessly tickled.
Those rock monsters burned down my house! I'm actually quite sad!
She tasks you with getting rid of the rock monsters that destroyed her home, and rewards you with a dragon egg once you do so. A fun idea for a character type that could have very well worked in the originals. Remember when Ember had a crush on Spyro? How that lasted for one game before she decided to move on after receiving a love letter from another guy? Well, that guy was Bandit, an armadillo from Shadow Legacy's version of Clifftown. So, what happened there? Well, it's simple. When Bandit visited Dragon Village with offerings of friendship, he caught sight of Ember and instantly fell in love with her. He then asks Spyro to deliver his letter, and upon reading it, she says, "Tell Bandit, I said yes. That's it." Have you ever wanted to see Hunters, Biancas, or Moneybags' extended families? No? Well, too bad, because for whatever reason, Shadow Legacy decided it was completely necessary to include them. First, we have Akello, Hunter's father, who resides in Avalar's savannah. Huh, looks like that was already a thing. Anyway, Akello was the king of the Cheetah clan, making Hunter a prince, I guess. He also had an advisor, Kasi, who temporarily took control of the clan after Akello fell ill due to the effects of the calamity. Kasi is like the precursor to Chief Prowless from Dawn of the Dragon, as they both blame Spyro for their misfortunes as well as Hunter for defending him. Whereas Prowless was willing to admit his mistakes though, Kasi was not, and is eventually thrown behind bars himself after Akello recovers. Moving along, we have the Bunny Bayou, this game's version of Lost Fleet, home to Bianca's hillbilly cousins, Bruno, Lucia, and Teresa. As you can probably guess, all their quests involve you helping get their farmland back to normal. Huh, no wonder Bianca left to study magic under the sorceress. And then there's Moneybags, with his wife and kids. I wish I were making that up. Anyway, he and Mrs. Moneybags have 4 sons. Marshall, Marvin, Maxwell, and Mervin. There's also Moneybags from Attack of the Rhinox, who's apparently Moneybag's nephew, implying he has a sibling too. Why is his family so big? Can you imagine if it extended into Skylanders somehow? Oh wait, it did. Sorta. This is Auric the Banker, a character who appears only in the console versions of Spyro's Adventure, Giants, and Trap Team. And he's actually not related to the Greedy Bear at all. Rather, he is him, just with a different name.
Moneybags was in there.
Yes.
But we changed his name to something else for whatever reason.
He plays largely the same role as Moneybags did in A Hero's Tale, selling various trinkets in exchange for gold. The Skylanders series is definitely not for everyone, but it still gave us some fun characters. Stealth Elf, Chaos, Flynn, Callie. We do remember Callie, right? The fearless Mabu explorer who embraces challenge and laughs in the face of danger, yet somehow always finds herself the damsel in distress, having been captured on multiple occasions. You know who you probably don't remember though? This girl. This is Tessa from Swap Force, a fox from the village of Woodborough with an adventurous spirit and exceptional leadership skills, which eventually leads her to become the village's new chiefess. It's unfortunate that even the most entertaining characters who have a prominent role in the plot often get overlooked simply for originating from a game that's not well liked. So, even if you have no interest in actually playing the games, I do encourage everyone to at least look up some cutscenes just to get a taste of what you might be missing out on. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more casual gaming content, and I will see you next time. Until then, this is Miharu, signing off.